Oh shit, Kate, we're on. Kate, get back over here. Come here, come here.
Hey
That was all
guys,
planned, by the way. That was totally planned. That was
were
like
were
last
we
second.
obvious?
Yeah, yeah. Hello, CNC brothers and sisters. Welcome to our regular Wednesday night live CNC Q&A. Let's talk about different things, CNC business or whatever, and
Yeah,
hang out together. It's always nice to be doing this. And it's today's the first day of summer, isn't it?
it is. I saw that come up on my calendar. I was like, finally, I would really like to use my pool and not have to just sit and stare at it with a pool cover on it. It's
I
kind of
think I need to
annoying.
come up your way. I need to come up your way. Well, first of all, everyone, all who is watching this live, if you've not been here before, I'm Garrett with IDC Woodcraft, your CNC router bit supply company, and the guy that creates a bunch of videos on YouTube and teach you how to do this stuff. And next to me is my CNC sister, Kate,
Yep.
who we met. Yeah, we met a little over a year ago. It all started when she was trying to figure out what the hell to do with her CNC machine, and she
Ugh,
set up a
so true.
set up a one-on-one with me, and we got working on that. She followed a lot of the videos that I created, and
Yep.
now she's at a point where she's doing one-on-ones. So if you're like stuck on your Vectric software,
Yeah.
uh, just so you know, right now, if you're stuck on a project, you need a one-on-one, you need somebody to help you get out of it. In the description of this video, if you're in YouTube, it's up there. If you're YouTube is down there, sorry,
Yeah.
and
Facebook.
face is up there. In the comments section, in the description section, there's a link to schedule with her. So,
Yep.
and that's Kate. Tell them who you are, Kate, and then we'll say hi to our brothers and sisters.
Hey, I'm Kate Tucker. I own a company called Riseandshinediywoodsigns. Have been a dedicated sign maker for about 7 years. Had a lot of fun and went up to ante, so I bought a CNC machine from Onefinity. I've been loving it. Been working on it for about a year and a half now, and loving life. Had some business bumps, but you know what? It has been a journey, and Garrett has been a fantastic mentor. We did a whole series on business mentoring, and we just kind of decided that needed to come to an end. So now we're doing this live CNC every Wednesday night to help you answer your questions, Vectric, whatever you've got. We're here to try and help. If not, all of our wonderful people in the comments were great at connecting those dots and making sure people can get their questions answered. So that's
Yeah,
what we're going to do
yeah.
tonight.
Okay. And you mentioned the mentoring. I got something I want to bring up, but first, just say hi to some people. And oh,
Yeah, we do need to say hi.
Monza is on board. Okay, Monza, brother, what's going on? This is a guy I did one-on-one with like a couple of years ago.
Oh,
He
wow.
he's one he's one that jumped off the high dive, right? He bought a big machine, right? I mean, like
Oh,
bigger than this bad boy, right? And
cool.
yeah, so I'm kind of curious as to where he's at. We got Bill and Jack, of
Nice.
course. Bart, I have not seen Bart in quite some time. So Bart's the one with the little cool things on both sides of his name.
Okay, yeah,
You,
I see
you see
that.
him?
Like little flourishes.
Yeah, he's one of the ones that he was on my channel early on,
Oh,
and
wow.
always offered some suggestions and what have you.
Very
Brian
cool.
is here, and Dan, and who
I
else we
see
got, Kate?
Chris. Chris
Got
from
Chris
Australia. We've got Gary back. Tim's back. We've got Brian. Ellen's
and
here.
Dion.
Dion. Hey, Dion. We missed you last week,
Yeah.
brother. I think.
Madra
I think.
32. I think Dion popped in late.
Did he pop in late? He
Dion,
might have. Yeah.
yeah, I think it was fashionably late.
We've got Mark. Looks like Carolyn. Hi, honey. She's new. I
Yeah,
believe she just joined my group earlier this week. So welcome, welcome,
yeah. I
welcome.
believe I sent the package out to her the other day because her name is spelled a little bit differently, right?
Yeah,
And so I remember that.
it's always the little things that catch us up, isn't it funny?
Yeah,
So we've got Schmidtville Creations. Hey, girl, how you doing?
Reese from down
Reese.
under.
I know. But we have a few folks from Australia. That's so awesome.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. I ship product to Australia.
I know.
Primarily, I'm going to Canada, Australia, sometimes UK, and then I get these. I guess the next one would be like the Netherlands or Switzerland.
Oh
Um,
wow, I love this one. I love Switzerland.
yeah, and what have you. Unfortunately, you get some kickback because I made an executive decision that I don't send USPS internationally anymore, and so
Is that good or
unfortunately that
bad?
makes well, it's hard on those who are ordering bits because UPS charges. They go through the um,
Customs?
duty fees and customs duty fees and all that stuff, and
Oh,
so
so they
so they
probably get
charge.
tagged.
Yep. But
Ugh.
for those of you international, I will tell you, I made the executive decision because USPS was losing so much stuff at the border that
Ugh,
I was actually triple shipping things to people. Right?
that
It
is
was a complete
annoying.
yeah, it's a complete loss. So yeah, you can't operate a business at a loss. So
Mm-mm.
um,
That's terrible. I hate that.
yeah, Steve said he jumped in with both feet too, straight to a 5x8. Oh my gosh, shop saver. Ooh, that's the
Wow.
high. Yeah, so that's boy,
That's
talk
a
about going
that's
doing.
a fancy one.
Yeah, yeah, that's
Oh, I
a
see. Bart said my long mill MK2 has arrived. You will see me
yeah,
more now. Yay!
good.
Congratulations. How exciting. But
Yeah,
yeah, the chop
so
saver, wow.
yeah, we have cyber hiker DD, cyber hiker partnership FTW. I've stopped international with them, but it was slow. Oh, FTW. I don't know what that is. Oh, I said
No.
pirate ship. No, I used pirate ship in the beginning, but the scale that I'm at now, pirate ship is like dealing with a snail because it's much more manual. I do most of my shipping stuff is done through Shipping Easy, and I'm about to upgrade to another shipping service, ShipStation, because it integrates much better with
Yeah, I've
the
heard good things about that.
with my website. So my tech guy has been all over it working that out, and so we're finally getting to a point. And unfortunately, anytime you make major changes like that in a business, there's always
Mhm.
the things you find out as you make it. Just it bumps in the road.
It's part
You
of
have
it.
to deal with it. Yeah, until you get it smoothed out. So what we're going to do tonight is we will talk about anything CNC. If you got a question about design or your machine or router bits or um, business, CNC business. I
Yeah.
want to bring something up, Kate, that, um,
Okay.
yeah, because last week, somebody so in the Facebook, I think it was the entrepreneurs, they watched the live or the recording of the
Awesome.
live, I don't know.
Sure.
And they said, well, it looks like Kate has been making, doing all the business, getting out there, making the business happen and stuff like that. And I just have a YouTube channel and a tool maker, right? Which I'm not a tool maker. I have tool companies. And
Okay.
so I thought that was a really interesting comment. And
Yeah.
yeah, because so I was kind of curious, and I tagged you. I said I literally said this is a really interesting post, and then I tagged you. I said, Kate, what are your thoughts? So we'll
Oh,
just
I
do it
must have
live.
missed
What are your
that.
thought? What are your thoughts on a comment like that? When
Uh, well, um, I would say you are definitely a businessman that knows the hustle and knows the grind. We both do. You're a much larger scale hustle. You're more like almost like CEO mindset, and I'm still like down here like small business, still trying to like I don't want to do like weird things with my hands, but trying to like I kind of feel like paddling. I'm not doggy paddling, okay, folks anymore. I'm not doggy paddling. I feel like I've got a row down here. We're like in
Mhm.
sync, but still it's been an adjustment. I won't lie because all of that mentoring really took me from stop doing everything for everyone type of business, which is literally what I was doing. Like my everyday hustle was making like all these crazy custom signs and it was taking me all over the map. And the point of the mentoring was to stop being all over the map and to start to narrow down. And so yes, I have been doing a lot more business-y things behind the scenes than actually like doing the hustle. But so much happens when you're an entrepreneur, and so much happens behind the scenes and what you see on social media. It's ridiculous. It's, I mean, it's just absolutely ridiculous. I stop and
It's
think about
insane.
80 times a day. Oh my gosh, if I posted this, I could post that, I could post this. And then at the end of the day, I'm just like, I don't have time to post anything. I'm so tired.
Yeah.
Because you're just, I don't know. There's so many things that happen. Like I knew you getting ready to release the Beast Bit. You've got sales. You've got to get it updated in the app. You've got to, do the promotional marketing for it. You've got to, connect with your suppliers to make sure that you have the bit. You've got to make sure you have packing materials. Like those are all things that don't get recognized or necessarily seen
Hmm.
by a lot of people. Because yes, we do all CNC, but a lot of us are just hobbyists and not necessarily, business, like running a legit business behind the scenes. Plus, you have your everyday life. So, you know, there's a lot to be said for that. So
Hmm.
don't always take it at face value. Don't always take what you see on social media because running a business it's a full-time gig. It's 24/7. It's nonstop. So
Yeah.
that's what I have to say to that.
Yeah. Yeah. If you've created content and you've really planned it out and thought it out,
Mhm.
talking to anybody, anyone who's watching, um, you know how much time it takes and the thought
Yes.
process, what you have to, you're setting up cameras, you're shooting, you're reshooting, then you're going into the edit mode, you're going, crap, I forgot that, how do I go back to that and get that in there, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's a lot of fun. The video I just put out about the vacuum table here off the Phantom, right, that took 3 days to edit that video.
Yeah.
Right. I am actively looking for a videographer now, someone to come in. I want my hands off the shipping aspect 100%. Speaking of shipping, everything we touch and that you get costs money, right? The envelopes,
Yes.
the labels that then somebody has to print those
Yeah.
labels out. They have to peel them off. They have to put them on the envelope, right? Then they got to grab the product off the stock. They got to bag them up, put all the little stickers, at least on my end, right on the
Yeah.
envelope, pull the little tab off that envelope and seal that envelope, right? And then get it in the bin and then take it down to the post office or UPS,
Yep.
whichever one it goes to.
Yep.
So, but yeah,
I
it's, yeah,
just I just did that today. I was wrapping up boxes. Um, I take the boxes from USPS and sometimes I jam them together because
uh,
sometimes my signs are too long for their standard box. Then you got to wrap it, you got to tape it, you got to bubble wrap, and oh my gosh, there's so much that goes into it. It's crazy.
there is. All
But
right, so let's see what we got. We got some longer comments coming up already.
okay, I did see
Yeah.
someone earlier. Back up. Oh, he said it was something about an STL. Can you import an STL into Vectric? I think is what it was, or what it was. Glenn Phyllis at 804. Hi, does
Okay.
vCarve Pro support STL files? Phyllis or Glenn, to answer your question, yes, Vectric Pro does support STL files. That's just the short answer to that.
Yep. Yep.
It does support them.
Let's. I might as well bring it up and I'll show you exactly how to import it. An STL.
There you
It's
go.
actually really, really easy. So I just got to create a file first, and we'll just go with that, and then I'm going to share screen. So let me come back to this and go to share screen. We'll show you real quick how to bring in an STL. So first of all, before I do that, what an STL file is, that's a 3D model. Okay. And shoot, I forgot what it stands for. Somebody put in the comments what STL stands for. But basically, it is the um, general file type that can be transferred from program to program.
Mhm.
So,
I can't remember either.
yeah, there we go. Let's see if we can find an STL. Okay, so I'm going to first see if I can find an STL. So just bear with me. Go to my downloads folder. I got one I just did. I'm
Oh,
going to
your
carve
alligator.
the alligator. Yeah, but I have to re-import it.
Yeah.
So into this one. So I got to go into my models directory. So another thing, a question I have from time to time is how to organize your files.
Oh, I'm the queen of the organization files. I know you are too.
I've had to learn. I'm still not far along on that. Okay, there's my alligator. Okay, so when you import an STL, you can the method I use is when you go up to the file button at the top, click that, and down about 3/4 of the way down it says import, and then you can cross over and import a 3D model. You select that and you go to your appropriate directory. I don't know if you can see the directory pop up.
Yep, we can.
Okay, so I'm going to go to my, so what I've done is I've created a CNC folder, and then in there is various different things, but all my designs are under a subfolder called models. And then in there, I've broken it down to subject, like animals or furniture, things like that. So the alligator is an animal, right? So I'm going to go to there. There's an alligator, a dragon, lion. So we're going to open up that, and here's the file. I'm going to select that, open it, and then we get this here. Okay, so now I've got a menu over on the side. Now I'm not a master at importing this, but I can see right away from the
It's big.
It's big, first of all, because that little space down inside the atomic circle is the size of the project. All right, so that's the project size. But also, this project is out of orientation relative to my project size. Here's the alligator, by the way.
Yeah.
So very, very cool. So first of all, I got to reorient it, and I got to scale it down. And the way I'm going to scale it down is I forget what size project. I just went with whatever I had, but it says it's 400, almost 700 inches, right? Almost 700 inches. So I'm just going to bring it down to 24 inches. And I've got the
24 by 6, basically.
Yep. And the linked X and Y is lock X and Y ratio. So it's going to bring down the Z, but it's going to bring down everything to scale as well. And then and then I got to change the orientation. So let's see these buttons up here. Front, let's see if it front does it. Nope. It's upside down. So we're going to go back, and there it is. And then I got to turn it, I believe. Go like that. No, we'll just go back, and I can change it later. And then I click the import, and then there's a couple things we can fiddle with up here, but I'm not going to, and we'll just import.
You got it.
And there it is. So it comes in like that because the model is still too big for the project size. So I've got to go back into the model and scale it back down some more. And shoot, doing it on the fly, I don't remember because I don't do this that often.
You know, you're operating in the same version as me. If we update to the 11.5 version, it actually, in the new version, it allows you to go back in and re-import it, because otherwise, from right now, someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I think
I'm in
you have
11.5.
Well, it says 11.506 available, so there's like a new version.
Oh yeah.
And it allows you to like go back and change it, but from this like this right now, it won't let you do that, which is really annoying, because it's almost like you have to like delete it out, then re-import it, and then readjust. And it's like, oh, for land sakes.
Right.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, that's another good point, though. Since you said that, I'm going to share real quick. You want to make sure your vectoric is current.
Yes.
So
okay. So I just thought about something. I think if you, on the screen, I'm sorry, I'm just like having a quick flashback. I think on the screen, if you actually do a right click, you might be able to change like the orientation of it. So just like click on the screen where you're at right now.
I am. Like, I brought up properties. Let's check out my properties. And it's give me base height, shape height. Shape height's huge.
Yeah. No,
dang, I just did this the other day too. So that's how rarely I work with that. But
I know.
Yeah, okay, but I do want to show you something else. So most software out there, like Microsoft Word and whatever you use, auto
Mhm.
updates itself, right? Whenever they
Yeah.
do what they call a patch, and a patch is just a fix and a glitch in the program, and that's pretty common. But Vectric does not have an auto updater, so you, as the owner, have to do it yourself. And the way you do it is by coming up to the help menu. And when you're done here, you should probably do this. Click the help, and then down below it's going to say check for updates. And then it popped in the screen. It said, do I want to do changes to my computer? So I'm not going to do that right now. And you'll go through a couple steps to
Yeah.
change, to update your computer. So you have to do that in order to bring it current. So if there's a version 11.506, then I've got to update mine because I'm on 501 right now.
Yep. That's what mine is too.
Yeah.
One more
Okay.
thing for the list.
Yeah, you had something on your mind?
Oh, no, I was just in that STL thing. I was looking at it, but we've moved on from that, so we're good.
Okay. All right. I apologize. I did not walk you through that effectively, but that means I got to go back into it and do it a couple times to get it
No,
burned
you're
in my
fine.
head.
I know we work with that so seldomly. It's like one of those things. I mean, Vectric is capable of so many things, and try to keep on top of every little thing that you can do along with the updates. It can be a little tasking.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Somebody said, so it looks like Dum Dum Dev at 807. He says, I take it you're happy with the Onefinity. I've been looking at it. Yes, Dev, I really do. I like my Onefinity. It's a great machine. I'll kind of get out of the way. It's hard to see because I'm so far away from it, but I have the Journeyman X50. I really do like it. I have had zero problems with it. I know a lot of people say different things, good, bad reviews here and there, but honestly, from knowing absolutely nothing and going into CNC, it's been a fantastic machine for me. So now that I've been in it a couple of years, I'm kind of like drilling over the new Masso motors and that new Masso screen. So I'm kind of like chomping at the bit, waiting to
Yeah.
upgrade.
All right. So you were experimenting today, weren't you?
Yes, I was. I have a lovely little piece of wood here I was working with, but I actually, as many of you know, the Beast is getting ready to get released, and I was doing some test cuts. You guys are going to laugh at my YouTube video when I put it out because it's literally like raw footage of all the things that can go wrong and the things that can go right. Like my board like lifting and trying to fly away, even though it's like got 4 clamps on it with the Beast just because it has so much power, and like my
Right.
Makita's screaming, and oh my gosh. But
So the Beast, so everybody knows, is a new router bit that's coming out from IDC Woodcraft. I think most people here know and have probably seen what it can do, but
yeah,
it's this right here. It's a what we call a roughing bit, and I was running it live through this piece of maple. I was actually cutting the full depth of the flutes 1 inch at 1,000 inches per minute on this Phantom, 80% step over. Right.
crazy.
Someone said I was making gerbil bedding.
And honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I had the exact same experience because when it was when I was cutting, I was like, holy crap! It's literally just like little tiny cuts of gerbil bedding just like flying off the CNC. So do you want to get into that right now and like me show
We can
them?
answer a couple more questions. So, but
Okay.
Kate did her test on the Beast today. She wanted to see what it could do. I
Yeah.
had sent her one to say, okay, Kate, let's get some real world experience. And Tim Nudd, he's got one too.
Yeah.
Right. Jack in the shop has got one. I did give Beasts to particular people to experiment with. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, I've had a good time with it. It is a beast. There is no lie about that. I think honestly, it would probably break my router before the bit would break. So there's that.
All right. All right. What is his wife? Oh, we know who's wearing the pants here. Okay. 60-degree bit. What do you set the depth of for V carving a design that has art and lettering. Those are various factors in this, Woody.
Mm-hmm.
Or Woody's wife. I don't know if I'm talking to a lady or a guy here. Why don't you tell him, her, some of the him/her, some of the factors?
So 60-degree V-bit depends on, are you working with a 60-degree insert blade? Are you working with a 60-degree like ultra fine bit, just like a regular bit? What do you set the depth at for V carving? So V carving in its entirety is, when I do a true V carve, I don't set a depth for a true V carving. When I do a profile, or I wouldn't necessarily use a pocket for a V carve, just because pocketing is like you're trying to clear material away and you don't want to use a V bit for that.
Yeah, pocketing is technically not a V carve.
Right. So for a profile, like when I do signs and things like that, I will normally go anywhere from 0.07 to 0.1. For a 60-degree, I feel like 0.1 might even be a little bit deep. I would stick between the 0.07 and 0.09. The thing that a lot of people run their bits at, they usually run their 60 degrees at like 22 to 24,000 RPMs. I would turn that back down to about 19, and you'll find that the ore mask will be less likely to tear off, and you'll also get a much cleaner result when you're running between 19 and 20,000 RPMs.
Yeah, isn't that weird? You run faster, you think it'd shave it off better, but it actually doesn't.
It lifts it right up and just will kick it out and make a mess.
And what is probably happening is it's moving too fast for the ore mask to literally break away, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's
you'll get a lot of shredding.
Yeah. 60 degree bit, a couple other things to know about it. Number one, depends on the diameter of your bit, your cutting blade. Like at IDC Woodcraft, there's 3 60-degree V bits. There's the 1/8 for the 1/8 router bits, right? So I got a whole set for those who have 1/8 collets, like this desktop machines.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Then we have the ultra smooth cutting. That's a knife blade, right? It actually has a forward knife blade on it. And those cut really clean. That's 1/4-inch diameter cutter, right? Mm-hmm. And then there's the one that has a 3/4-inch capability. Thing to remember about V bits, right? When you're doing a V carve, what Kate said, she doesn't set a depth on the carve itself, right? Because the software in a V carve calculates it all out by itself.
Yeah.
Right. Because a V carve is basically, it's cutting the, it is so hard to explain how a V carve works.
Here. Oh gosh, hold on. My chair is stuck on my shop floor. It won't move. So this, I know it's kind of hard to see, and I'm sorry, but this is kind of like a true V carve, like where you can see like the bumblebee's legs are deeper, and then its head is deeper. But then the flowers, because of the design, they're more shallow. So does that kind of make sense?
Yep. And the software did all the calculations for that.
Yes. I did not do any calculating. I literally set 0 depth or 0 start depth, 0 depth, and just let it do its thing. And basically what it's doing is the area, depending on if it's wide or narrow, is how deep the bit's going to go in, and it's the full depth of the bit and what it's going to cut out. So that's the results that you're going to get.
Okay. All right. Eric has the journeyman still sitting in a box.
Oh gosh.
Talk to him, Kate. Talk to him.
Eric, come on. Let's go, brother. Let's get that thing out of the box. It's so easy to put together. Hope you got your table built. Just so you know, I have a ton of people ask me about let me get out of the way, about my table. My table is actually 8 foot long, because the journeyman is 48 inches, and I have about 2 or 3 inches on the far end. But I love this area here where I have a toolbox, I have my bits, I have my screen, I have all the room to work, and then my controller and stuff is down here, and then like my safety gears down here, and then I have all kinds of like other tools that I use all the time. So an 8 foot table, get that baby out there. just get it going. I mean, this should be inspiration right here. Just look at it. Just,
Yeah. Talk to
just
him, Kate. Talk to him.
bask in its glory. Because there's so many cool things you can make. So get that baby going.
All right. So Dum
Okay.
Dev, you said you went 0.2 and it's kind of deep, but it looks good. Depends on the font. Absolutely. The
Yes.
thing with the thing with V carving, if you're doing letters, some letters go thin, wide, thin, wide, thin, wide, and the software is designed so that V bit will touch both sides of that letter and it will create a V at that angle. So where you're wide, it's going deeper. Where you're narrow, it goes shallower. So you use that feature called flat depth to make it more consistent, and it always looks better. Like Kate had that really deep part of the B, right?
Yeah.
And she can avoid going that deep by setting flat depth, and that's in the V carve toolpath. It's actually at the very top where you set your cut depth. Right below that is a checkbox, flat depth, and you tell the max depth that I can go. That's what the flat depth is.
Yes. But I
So
will
it'd never
say
go.
this. I've done
Yeah.
some really cool signs and carvings where I've actually just let the machine go the full depth. So like I had this really cool font. I'll try to post it on my Instagram tonight, but it was a gift, so I couldn't post it forever and a day. But it had a 3D carving of a cardinal, and then it had the last name Snyder on it. And the name was about, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 inches high. And the S was like super deep. And then it had like the tail, where it was real thin. So it was like deep, and then it was real wide, and then it went back down into the N, like full depth. And so it was really cool, but it was a cursive font, and then it had a 3D cardinal on the other side. It was neat. But yeah. Okay.
All right. Cool.
So.
Well, there's a question here. An interesting question, by the way.
I see that.
I like this. This is getting into some good stuff. I'm fine. Monster violence. Master violence.
Master.
Sorry. Yeah, it's kind of like Dan and Don, isn't it? My A's and O's kind of go together.
Your cataracts are still adjusting. It's okay.
Yeah. Interested
For your
in
cataract
advice
surgery.
on cutting and finishing bits for doing your violin tops and backs. I'm designing and building custom acoustic violins. Well, I will first say, and I'm sure Kate will too. I can volunteer this for her. We have not made musical instruments, right? But what I will say is, number one, you're making reliable cuts, so you want to make sure you have a reliable machine. I'm assuming you've got a good machine that knows where it's at. It stays on track, right? You don't want a belt-driven machine because that can possibly slip on you. If you got it, it'll still work, but I've said my piece.
Well, let's talk about your finishing bits. So I feel like all of your finishing bits are, okay, I'm just going to speak from my personal experience. You know how I feel about your bits because I'm such a huge advocate of them. But the surfacing bit, I don't know what type of, like this is coming from someone who knows absolutely nothing about making machines, fine instruments, but the surfacing bit, if you're looking to surface any type of wood for that ultra smooth surface, the 1/4 inch, all the ball noses. Those are just going to give you a really clean finish. I guess it will just depend on what type of step over you're running.
Yeah. When you're doing the tops and the bottoms, you want to use compression. You absolutely want to use compression bits. And in this case, using thin wood, so you want like the 1/8 compression bit. If you're going to do inlays, then you want to use the bladed V bits. Right? You don't want to use a flat blade V bit.
Like an insert bit?
Yeah, an insert. The blade leaves a lot cleaner cuts. It just it's limited. You can't go any bigger than the size of the stock.
Yeah, I've got a couple of them. They're beastie. They're heavy too.
A solid carbide all the way through, but they have a knife edge, so they're nice forward cutting edge on them.
Okay. All right. So I hope that helps a little bit, Fine Master. I see Carolyn I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Please don't. I hope I don't offend you by mispronouncing your name. I appreciate you guys so much. I would still have been staring at my machine if it weren't for you. Yes.
Hey. Is Carolyn part of Lady Women Who CNC?
Yes, she just joined like a couple of days ago, I think.
Hey, good
So
job,
really
Carolyn.
proud of her for jumping out. Girl, you're gonna have to post your carves and show us what you're doing out there. I'm super excited
So
to
talk
see
about Women Who CNC. Let the
so
ladies know if they're hanging in there. We got the Woody's wife. We don't know if it's the wife or not. So
that's true. Yeah. So we have Women Who CNC on Facebook. It's on Facebook only right now because it is a Facebook group. It is for women only. No offense, men. It's just sometimes we speak a different language when we're learning. So there are no dumb questions. You're welcome to ask whatever you want to ask. The group is very steadily growing. We are very excited. And I can speak for most all of the ladies. I know there are several of them here on the feed tonight. And we just have a great group of women who will support you no matter what the question is, because sometimes we just don't feel comfortable asking our questions in a group of 20 or 30,000 people and men. And sometimes we get like made fun of for asking questions. So I wanted Women Who CNC to be a really safe space for any and all, newbie to advanced. We got you. Come join us, Women Who CNC on Facebook.
Yep, there's a link in. If you're on Facebook, there's a link in the description above. Wait, there we go. And YouTube down below in the description. And by the way, a lot of people don't know how to get to the description section on YouTube.
Oh, yes.
Down below the video, there's a thumbs up and a thumbs down button, right? Mm-hmm. And then below that, a little information. And you'll see the start of a sentence. And then it'll say more. You just click the word more, and that'll open up part of the description. And then there'll be another word more. You hit that one, it'll open up the full description.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Oh, all right.
STL. Yeah. So Brooks said STL is an acronym that stands for stereolithography, popular 3D printing technology term.
Nice. Well, thank you for sharing that, Brooks.
I thought there was another term for that.
I don't know.
Oh, there you go. Answer that one, Kate.
Can you work with one STL at a time unless you have a spire? I've never personally tried to work with more than one, but the answer for Vectric Pro is yes, you can. So like if you have a multi-layer project, so like let's say you have like a wavy flag and then you want to put the American Eagle on it and I don't know, like maybe the pole of like, the flag or something decorative.
I got a video that walks through that exact thing.
Really? I didn't know that.
It's got 1, 2, 3, 4 different 3D models in one thing.
Well, very cool. Well, there you go.
I don't know what the video is called.
I don't know. I haven't seen that. I'm gonna have to go look it up.
But
yes, you can implement, especially like if you're working with the clip art. Like, let's say you want. So I don't know if I did a video on it. I can't remember. I think I might have just posted about it. But I basically made a big 3D model. It was like kind of an oval, and it had 2 wedding rings, and they were like inserted, and it had names, and it was a whole thing. But yes, I used most all of that from the clip art and just kind of dropped and dragged and manipulated it to how I wanted it to be.
All right. Okay. Just our little intermission here. So I'm Garrett with IDC Woodcraft and Kate from Riseandshinediywoodsigns. We started this channel this Wednesday Night Live some 4 months ago, where Kate asked me to mentor her, and I said, okay, but we're going to do it publicly. You up to that? She said, absolutely. And Kate got quite vulnerable. So if you are interested in getting into CNC business, I recommend you watch that series. Right now, we're talking 1.5 hour sessions the whole time, but
great to put it on and work type of thing.
Yeah. When it comes to business, business is all about how the mind's working, how you're thinking. All right. And
had to learn
getting
that.
out of your own. Yeah, getting out of your own head and into the head of the people who you're trying to serve and who would be your customers.
You got it.
Um, yep. And in the description there are links. CNC Entrepreneurs Facebook group. If you're not in that, join that.
Yep.
And the Beast CNC router bit, it now has a release date. It has a release date. I'm going to release it on July 30th.
June
June
30th.
June June 30th. Let's back up. Oh, I'd piss a lot of people off. They said,
Yeah, I was gonna
"What?"
say, whoa,
June
June.
30th. Now we got to be clear. It gets released to the CNC insiders first. Right. CNC insiders are
Go
those on
join.
the email list on the IDC Woodcraft CNC insiders email list. When you're on that list, you get first dibs and you get discount codes on the first products that are released. Right.
Yep.
I don't let those codes run forever. You got 4 days to use that. I've got
And trust me,
1,000 of these.
you're not gonna need 4 days. You're gonna need like
Uh,
4 minutes to get a hold of it.
I'm scared, Kate.
I'm telling you,
I'm scared. It takes a long time to pack that stuff up.
I know, but you're gonna have you're gonna have. I know. We're just gonna have to come down and have lunch or something. We're just gonna have to have like a packing party. I don't know what to tell you.
That would be fun. That would
Me,
be
you, and
fun.
Trinity, or
So CNC and who?
did I say Trinity? That's not right.
Liberty.
Liberty. Why do I always want to call her
Liberty.
Trinity? I have a
Liberty's-
friend named Trinity, so that's where my brain goes.
Okay, Liberty's my shipping girl.
Yes,
Right.
Liberty.
And yeah,
We're gonna have to
Yeah.
come down and like pack all these bits and ship them out.
yeah. So
How fun would
CNC
that be?
insiders, there's a link, of course, in the descriptions, as I pointed out before. Let's get
Yes.
back to some of this stuff.
All right. So I see Brooks Martin, he posted a Wikipedia STL format, all the things. So if you're interested in that, go look up Brooks's comment. We've got a new Facebook user, 819. He says, "Hi, I'm from Trinidad and Tobago. I bought my first CNC last month. It's a work bee.
Okay.
I don't know what a work bee is, but congratulations on your new CNC.
Yeah, I think Workbee is a UK made machine.
Okay,
Right. I think so.
very cool.
All right. Welcome to the club, my CNC brother, right? Or
Welcome,
CNC
welcome.
sister. All right. Just as
Yes.
Facebook user. We're just below the video in Facebook. I think there's a little button where it says let people see your name. If you want to be seen, you click
Yeah.
that.
Jeff says hit the like button, folks. Thank you. Yes, that does help the rankings for our video. So please do hit that like button. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
So another Facebook user says, how fast would you cut that on the long mill? It's Mark 1.
Mark 1. Okay. So there's the long mill MK1 or Mark 1. The MK stands for Mark. And there's a long mill MK2. All right. So that's just their abbreviation. So Kate just did a test on hers today, right? And her numbers will work with the long mill as well. So let's just dive in to see. So Facebook user, how fast would you cut that? We're talking about the beast, right? We're talking about this roughing end mill. And just first to understand what a roughing end mill is, it's designed to remove material from your project, but it's not designed to leave a clean finish. It's there to do the work, to be the workhorse of all the material removal, and to leave your regular bits to come back in and just do nice cleanup cuts. Why do we use a roughing bit like the beast or the hog? Because number one, it will spare that. It'll increase the life of that other bit, because normally your clean bits, what I use to call a finishing bit, in this case, just the normal bits you use, a compression bit, an up bit, a down bit. Those are what I'm terming finishing bit. Okay. Those are the ones that leave nice clean edges. But if you're using that to hog out all that material out of a bowl, you are wearing down that bit. And you have to go at a certain depth. You have to go at a certain step over, typically 40%, maybe a 1/4 inch depth, whatever. And it takes a long time. Even your recessed signs, like, yeah, even your pockets in your big signs, all that material. So a roughing bit will come in and move through it a lot faster. It's designed just to rip that wood out of there, and
Yep.
you just leave a little bit of material left for your regular bit to come in and just do that cleanup cut. So you're making that bit last longer, and the roughing bits can stand up to a ton of workload. And
Yes. As
yeah,
I've learned
so
today. I have the hog, but I also have the beast. So both excellent. Both
yeah,
excellent.
the difference between the hog and the beast. The hog is a little bit longer than the beast. The beast is kind of a redesign because it has a thicker core and shorter flutes, right? It can't go as deep as the hog can,
Yeah.
but it's much stronger. You could pick up a car with this thing. I mean, I couldn't break the thing at 1,000 inches per minute, ripping through maple.
Yeah.
And last,
And it was just
yeah,
like butter.
yeah,
I was
yeah.
just
Well,
like,
talk about your experience with it.
all right. So before I show you the piece of wood that I was working with, I want to talk to you just about two like really important things that I found out when I was working not only with the Vectric software, but also with the wood grain itself. So what I did is I started at 100 inches a minute, then I went up to
You,
150, 200. Go
this is
ahead.
with the beast,
Yes, this is
right?
with the beast.
Okay, okay,
Up to 250 at 3/4 of an inch thick on some walnut. So
okay. And you're doing this on the Onefinity with the Makita.
yes,
Okay.
yes, my Makita router's in there. I do not have a spindle. So the Makita is all I got. And I was just like, please, Lord, do not break this because Mama can't break a router right now. So what I did was on the 100 inches per minute, I noticed that the router was kind of like lagging a little bit, and it was also, doing that like shuddering noise that sometimes it does. But what I want you to remember is the grain of the wood is so important, because when I was doing a climb cut. So think of it going as counterclockwise, because sometimes they say that's better to do when you're working with a hardwood versus doing a conventional cut, which is clockwise. So after doing all that and looking at it and running it at 100 inches a minute, I'm like, man, that's just not what I want it to be. So I thought, okay, well, if I do 80 inches or 85 inches a minute and do a raster cut and do back and forth, I bet I would get an even better result. And I probably could push it to 100. I would say if I were doing like a small catch-all tray, I would feel comfortable pushing it to 100 inches a minute. Now I'm going to tell you this. The piece of wood that I sectioned out, I don't have a tape measure over here by me, probably a 4 by 3.5, cleared it out at 3/4 of an inch deep in a minute 17 seconds. A minute and 17 seconds.
How long would that have taken the old way, do you think?
Oh, 25, 30 minutes
Mhm.
easily.
That's the other purpose for a roughing bit. You get through there, you cut your time way down.
Yeah.
So some of the things that Kate was describing as the limitations that she has with the Makita router, right? It just has so much power, right? So that's why we have
Or
to
lack
tone it
of.
down. Yeah, or lack
The,
of,
the,
right?
the Beast has a ton of power. The Makita router, not so much. Now, I will tell you, I did get through, so I did a test video. You guys will see it here in the next couple of days. I'm going to try and get it up on YouTube and get it all put together.
Yeah, join her YouTube channel too.
Yes,
It's linked in the description too.
I'm at 695 subscribers, so I need 5 people to go and subscribe to my channel tonight. Just help me out, make me feel like 700. Yes, I made a goal. Hooray, I can
Give her
check
that
that off my
moment. Give her
list.
that moment to celebrate. Rise and
Yeah,
Shine Wood Signs is the name of her channel. I believe I have it linked in the description.
yeah.
Come on, help
So
Kate hit this. Help her get that little win.
I know, just those little wins, man. Those little wins are everything. Okay, so I will say, I do want to say this just for the record. It did cut at 100 inches per minute at 3/4 of an inch, no problems. 150 inches, yes, there was a little bit like, that really high pitched squeal that we all are like, oh God, something's going to explode. It did cut it. 200 inches a minute, Yes, but I'm not sure if I just had like my rows too close together when I was cutting, because you know we do test cuts and we kind of have just rows. I think my rows
Mhm.
were a little too close together because when I went for 200 inches a minute, it literally like ran into it and then went and kind of like over to the side. So that kind of sucked.
It had
But
it. What happened there was it overpowered the motors of your machine.
oh,
Did it actually move out of location?
yes.
Yeah. So it overpowered the stepper motors.
Oh, so there you go. So okay, so 250 was like it went in, but it was like detour, like peace out. I can't do this. Um, Now I will tell you, I did go 100 inches a minute at a full depth of 1 inch in this piece of wood, and I will show you that in just here in a little bit. Um, I did push it to 150, but I had my RPMs at about 27,000. So that's pretty high. I mean, you know, we're talking almost a 5 on the Makita router, and that's as fast as that little motor will go. And it did, but it did the same thing. It went in and then it kind of like detoured and kind of jolted off. So I knew I was pretty much tapped out. But let me show you this piece that I did. So this is the wood that I was working with. This is 1.32 inches thick.
And that
Um,
looks like walnut.
yeah, you know, I think it is some form of walnut, but it has a lot of red to it, so I'm kind of almost second guessing maybe it might be cherry. I'm not sure.
Okay.
You guys can tell me what you think. But
Still a dense wood.
yes, very dense. So I want to show you. This is where I did the I can hardly see, so please excuse me. So this is where I did the conventional or the climb cut. So basically it it went in and then it did its thing and it kind of but you can see how smooth the edges are with that. Like there's some ridges, but it's not near as smooth. But this is where I got a lot of chatter on the router. Um, I was not overly thrilled with all of the chatter. I think I ran. I'm trying to remember on my. I think when I finally got it without the chatter, I was running at 85 inches a minute, 24,000 between 24 and 26,000. It might have even been right at 25. Um, and I had no chatter. But the other thing that I did is you can see this is the 1 inch. Let me spin this around. So this was the full 1 inch depth of cut that it went down because you can see that 0.32 is just right here on the edge. But this is where I did the raster cut, and you'll notice with the raster cuts, it had a lot more. You can see where the bit just landed back and forth, and it came back in. Now this would not be hard to clean up with my 1/4 inch end mill. I could even go to the full depth of the 3/4 depth and just run that end mill right across there, and I would have zero problems. The bit could handle that,
Mhm.
no problems, and even clean up this if I wanted to. Now this is not the prettiest piece, but remember when I told you where the bit went in and it tried to come in at that 250 IPM and then shot out the side? You see that
Yep.
right here? Or just
Yep.
like shot out. It was like, peace, no can do. But this is like I said, I've got a full YouTube video I'm going to be putting up, and I literally was like 100, 150, 200, 250, and then you even see at some point the 200, the board like comes flying up and then it just shoots out, and it's like I was like, "Oh, crap." You may hear a couple choice words, but
Yep. It is
and
an
then I
upcut bit. Yeah, and you're being aggressive with it, so you have to make sure the board is secure.
yeah, I even had to stop at one point, and I had 4 clamps on it, and I had to take the 4 clamps off. I put double-sided tape down on it, like, and a lot of tape and a lot of accelerator, and then I put the clamps back on it, and it was still grabbing it a little bit, and I was like, I think we're at our max. But I found the sweet
Right.
spot. I would say 85, 85 to 90 for the Makita router. If you have a spindle, obviously you could easily go up to 120. I don't think you would have any problems going up to 120 if you had a spindle. Um, But yeah, a minute,
Uh,
17 seconds, and like a minute 20 on this one. So under 3 minutes, I cleared all this out. I'm just saying, could you imagine if you were making a catch-all tray? Like,
mhm.
just hollow that out and then go back in with your finishing bit.
Yeah. And if the
I was
machine, if the
impressed.
bits, yeah, if the machine is, uh, if things are getting, you're getting too much chatter and stuff, you can always back off the depth of cut. You're still kicking ass with that bit.
Yeah. Oh,
So,
absolutely. That's
all
that's a
right.
really good point too.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there you heard it. Kate did that today, and she was talking to me earlier. I said, Kate, just tell people what you experienced, and
Yeah.
there we go. So that's the beast. And that's coming out June 30th. Get on CNC Insiders because they are getting first dibs at it. It'll go live on the website, but they will have that special discount for 4 days.
Yeah.
All right, let's get back to some questions here.
All right. Carolyn. Yeah, she asked at 8:24. Yeah, go ahead and throw that comment up there. I'll let you answer this one.
I'm gonna cut through, send in my metal board. Okay, so what I would say, so a spoil board, you want to put a piece of MDF on top of that, right? MDF on top of your metal board, and it probably has tracks through it, right? So where you can put bolts in, and so you get the little nuts. Hopefully, you got nuts that slide through that track, and you get screws, and then you want to countersink on top of your spoil board, so the screws are recessed in the spoil board. The spoil board is MDF. It's well, you can't see it because I got all this vacuum matting down here now.
Yeah.
MDF. Oh, there's a piece right there. It's laying on the floor over there, but it's just particle board. Well, no, let's come back. Not particle board. Don't use particle board.
Oh, that's bad. That's very bad.
Yeah. MDF is medium density fiber. You get a piece of that. Figure out how to secure that down. So you'll drill holes periodically to bolt that down, and make sure the screws are recessed down in that board because you got to come back in behind with a surfacing bit and clean it all up. All right.
Yeah.
That's the way you need to work this with your machine.
Yep.
So if she has got a metal one, I'm going to suspect she has a shark.
I'm not sure. I was kind of thinking the same thing. I wasn't sure. I haven't talked to many people with like a metal spoil board underneath.
Shark,
like
shark
mine
comes with metal.
Mine doesn't have any type of spoil board. It was just the rails and
same with the long mill. Had to
gantry.
build it. So ask in the group and post a picture in the group, the women who CNC of your machine, and then post in there, and then get some guidance there. We got you kind of started here. So
definitely be able to help
you definitely need to get something on top of that metal one.
I think there are a few women that have sharks, so I think they'll definitely be able to help you out.
Okay.
All right.
Amstel Overlord. Amstel Overlord.
Overland.
Okay. Overlord sounds better.
It does sound better. I agree.
It does sound better. I think
everybody likes an overlord.
Yeah. Okay. So what is more or less the right speed for, let's say, 1/4 inch down or up bits for something like maple? Oh, you want to, oops, pop Carolyn's thing back in there.
So
what do you typically run?
Personally, here's what I'm going to do is I would go over to the Google or Apple Play Store and download the IDC Woodcraft app because it has a lot of really handy feeds and speeds already calculated for you. You can check the like hardwood, softwood, whatever type of wood you're working with, and it's going to give you a set of feeds and speeds. There are like 5 bajillion different types of wood, but I know we had them kind of categorized: softwood, hardwood, like your acrylic, whatever you're going to be cutting, and for that type of particular bit. That's not an endorsement for the app. I'm just saying that's literally like the best place to go because you're not going to find anywhere else that you're going to just be able to go, what feeds and speeds should I cut my cut maple at? or cut a
Yeah.
hardwood at for that type of machine or that type of bit that you're using. That's just facts.
Yep.
There
IDC
you go.
Woodcraft phone app. Right. It's
Mhm.
got all the bits that I have, all the feeds and speeds. They're conservative numbers, right?
Right.
Because a lot of beginners upload it, and they are
Yes.
designed that they are really for benchtop machines, the feeds and speeds, because most people have them. Now
Yep.
that I'm just dealing with things like the Phantom, I'll have an upgrade in it eventually. So yeah, get the
Yeah.
app, and that will have the feeds and speeds relative to. There it is.
So like here's the app right here. Whoops. You can select your material. So I went into the actual, like, you can select whatever type of bit you need or whatever you want. So like this one's for acrylic, and then you can come down here and select your material. So that's what you want to do. That's honestly what I do, and then I just use my experience and my knowledge, because like Garrett said, the app is conservative because a lot of new beginners do use it. So use your experience and go from there. But it's a great starting place.
Yep. Even here at IDC Woodcraft, we all use it. can't keep the numbers in our heads. So,
Heck
and
no.
it's free.
Heck
It's
no.
free. You can get it for Apple and for Android. So just
Yeah.
search IDC Woodcraft on your relevant app store. So here's
Yep.
another good question from Joe. Would it make
Jen.
sense to Jen? Sorry. Yeah. I think I should leave. Never mind. I keep getting all this wrong. Jen. It is Jen.
We're just
Wait a
having a
minute.
day. It's okay. Jen.
Yeah.
It's Jen.
Jen.
She's on here all the time. Would it make
Salzman.
sense to use a hog or beast bit to hog at a bowl and then come back in with a bowl bit for a finishing pass? I'll let you take this one.
Yeah, this is a good question. I see this a lot. And so I've seen a lot of people use a bull bit to clean out all that material, right? And you are putting a lot of work against that bit. You are wearing that bit, and Jen, the answer is yes. You want to get a roughing bit or use any bit to remove that material and then come back in with a bowl bit. So you're always going to leave just a little bit of stock. I've got a bowl video that I haven't finished yet that talks about that. Jen, thank you for saying that, because I see it a lot. I've had people ask me that a lot. Yes, absolutely. And it'll be much easier on your machine the whole way around, because that 1-inch bowl bit, I got a 1-inch bowl bit, is not working your machine so hard. When you got a big bit like that, you stand a potential of kicking that project out if you're not held down well enough.
Yeah, and bending the bit, which is even more tragic. So, all right, let's see. Jeff at 826, right underneath there. What feed weight would you use on the long mill Mark 1 with the Beast, considering rigidity limitations?
So
is that the same? Like, do they use the Makita there, or is that a special
they
machine?
use a Makita. No, it's Makita.
Okay.
And they use the same kind of feeds. What I would do is, I've done 100 inches per minute at 1/2 inch depth on the long mill.
Okay.
100 inches at a 1/2 an inch.
Okay.
And if you feel like it's still working the machine, then bring it down to like 85.
That's what I said. That's what I felt like really comfortable. 85 inches per minute. And I was doing the full 3/4 inch, and I didn't feel like it was really like bucking the system at all. But like Garrett said earlier, if you want to go down and just do like a 1/2 an inch and then do another 1/4 inch cut after that, be perfectly fine.
Someone went 1 inch today with an 1/8 inch bit, and they burned it some. Okay.
Might throw that comment up there so other people can see that.
Well, I don't quite understand.
Yeah, went with 1 inch today.
With a 1/8 inch bit. And burned
I think maybe they're trying to say they maybe cleared some out with like the 1 inch. bit today, maybe like the surfacing bit or something. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Well, say with a 1/8. Burn something. Typically, so if
Oh,
you're,
he went 1 inch
I'm
deep
just
with an 1/8 inch cut.
could be.
That's what I'm
I would
thinking.
almost expect that would break on you,
Yeah, I would have never gone,
depending on your
never
feed
gone that
rate,
deep.
right?
You be careful.
If
Be
you,
careful.
yep, if you burnt the bit, then it may not be getting enough material out of the way fast enough, or it's moving too slow and it's doing more rubbing on the wood than it is cutting.
Mhm.
That'll overheat your bit really quick.
Yeah. Yeah. Make sure when you're using those 1/8 inch bits, the depth of cut that's in there in your settings. Make sure that you're trying to use that as a guide for a good rule of thumb. So if it says that the depth of cut is, you know, 1/4 of an inch, make sure that your passes align with your depth of cut. So if you're trying to get down to the 1 inch cut, make sure you're doing 4 passes and not 1, and you'll get a much better result. And you'll save your bits.
All right. Mark Lindsay did a great video on V-carve bits. So there you go.
Yep.
Just sort of look at, so that has to do with V-carving before. Monza has a question. I still have my question about 3D model toolpath summary time versus machine running time. So, okay. So when you're in the Vectric software, right, if you've worked with it enough, you know there's a clock that does an estimation of how much time that project is going to take.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes that time doesn't match up. So he said 3D carves, and that was the dead giveaway. He's getting a lot longer run time than what his software is telling him.
I have had that too. I totally feel you,
Yep.
brother.
Yep. I'm going to tell you why. Sorry.
Let's see what he has
This
to say.
project. So what Vectric is doing, it's calculating the feed rates. But what it doesn't pick up, right, are the dives, the in and outs where the machine has to slow down to change directions. So in this cool project here that somebody got mad at me about, right? They got mad because insert eye roll, because they told me the union was on the wrong side. And I said, no, that's their problem, right?
Turn it sideways.
Sorry, Ken, there's nothing on the other side.
Oh Lord.
But anyway, the router bit has to stop its travel or decelerate, and it's got to change directions and re-accelerate, then stop again, change directions. And so there's lots of deceleration and re-acceleration that happens in a 3D carve, right? And the Vectric software doesn't account for that. This is where, if you can, it takes a little bit of a study with your machine,
okay,
and getting a feel for it. And that scale factor that's in the clock, right? That's where you can start to adjust the scale factor. So if you're doing like 3D carves and you know that they're taking 1.5 times the amount of time, right, then you can adjust that scale factor. But of course, the complexity of the carve of the 3D has a lot to do with it.
Yes.
As well. And I'll even show you. I'm going to show you one that's going to tax my clock. I won't even rely on my clock.
I know. I always, it is hard. So while you're doing
where's
that,
the
I have to
guy?
chuckle because it says Cyber Hiker DD. He was talking about, when we were talking about V carves and my B carving, he said, it's a B carve.
The B carve.
It's a B carve. It's so cute. Yes, you are so right. That's adorable.
Yeah, let's bring up the dragon. There it is. So once it's launched, come on, baby, pop on in there. There we go.
Well, while you're working on that, and you're talking about timing, we do have another question from Amstel Overland. He said, I also wonder about Overlord. You're now the Overlord. Sorry.
You are now
you
Overlord.
Have a new name. Yeah. You and Don together. His name is Dan, but he's Don to Garrett. He says, I also wonder about a 3D carve. I uploaded a file 8 by 6 inch using a 90 degree quarter inch bit, and it was saying 16 hours. Is that right?
On an 8-inch by 6-inch carve, no. I've got a video that talks about how to get your times knocked down. So it's factors are, number one, the clock setting, right? The scale factor. Number two are the feed rates that you have set for your bits. And the third factor is
can you use other bits other than a 90 degree bit? That would be my, like, what are you trying, like, if you're doing that, are you doing, you know, something like what I was doing with the B, you know, something like that? Because this, I don't know if you were on here earlier, but this carve here, this is...
Well, he's talking about a 3D carve. I wouldn't be using a V-bit on a 3D carve anyway.
I know. I'm just thinking like...
that. Oh, this is the other problem. Okay, if you're using a V-bit, the V-bits are saying they got a step over percentage too, right? And they'll say the final step over is like 5%. You got to think it's stepping over by a point because the V-bit's coming down to a point.
Like literally the tip of a pin, like it's moving over.
So that's probably the other factor. Change it to a ball nose. In this case,
love a good ball nose.
Tapered ball nose. Yeah, ball nose like an 1/8 inch or smaller. All right, I'm just going to bring that up to just really quick to show you. This is one I don't even know how to estimate the time.
Oh shit! Sorry.
This is this is going to be
wow.
Yeah, this is going to be 44 long. So it's intense in detail.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, it's a beautiful carve, but holy cow.
Yeah.
What bits are you using?
This one, because of the oh my God. I almost hate that you asked me that. I'm probably going to use the ultrafine 3D carve bit.
Yeah.
And that means this thing's going to run forever.
Yeah.
The ultrafine taper ball nose.
Yeah, that's going to be like 60 hours or something crazy.
Yeah, it's going to run for a long, long time. I don't know if that would be 60. It could be. Even if I put the Phantom up to, we'll just say 1,000 inches per minute, doesn't matter because there's so many changes in direction.
That's what I'm saying.
It never has opportunity to even get up to that feed rate.
So something I do want to mention really quickly, like as a quick side note, something I have learned, just I thought I would share with my fellow CNC'ers. I really like 3D tabs versus real tabs because when Garrett was talking about the machine getting up to speed and then having your time, when you're using those standard tabs and they're just like down here in your project and the routers are, and then it has to stop, pick up, and go around it and keep going. A 3D tab is more like a bump. So basically the only thing that really has to slow is your Z, and it just, you know, you're still staying at speed and it just raises the Z and it comes back down. It's like going over a little bump. And I did some names and things like that for a party today, and it literally took me, it probably shaved 30 minutes off of my runtime versus using 3D tabs versus using the regular tab. So just a little fun side note, I would check those out in your next project.
And one of the things that the 3D tabs causes too is dwell marks on your project. So what a dwell mark is, if you've done any projects and there's that little dig in the cutout of your project, right? You go, where's that cutout coming from? How can I stop it? It's that little dig is called a dwell mark. It's because the router bit kind of stayed idle while it's coming down into the project, and it doesn't allow for any deflection of the bit, and the bit just kind of relaxes, and so it actually kind of digs into the project a little bit and leaves that mark. So 3D tabs, the router has to come over, or the non-3D tabs has to come over, stop, come up, and then move over and come back down. And when it's doing those little plunges up or down, that's a dwell time, and it's going to leave those little digs on the side of your project.
So it's much nicer because you just get really clear edges all the way around, which is so nice.
Yeah. Use 3D cabs whenever you can.
Ooh.
Can you run a Shapeoko 5 with Vector V-Carve Pro? I know it comes loaded with Carbide Create, Carbide Motion. So let's understand what you're dealing with. Yes, you should be able to, as long as this doesn't, if it's a, there's no reason you shouldn't be able to. I think plenty of people do it, right? I would ask in the Shapeoko group, but to understand, the design software is design software. It just stands alone. It doesn't matter if it has a CNC router or not, right? But it does matter what your post processor is, so it writes the code the right way after you create your tool path. That's getting a little deep,
Yes.
but for this person here, but yes, you can work with V-Carve Pro as opposed to Carbide Create. Carbide Motion is the control software. You should be able to run that with a different control software.
One would hope.
You should be able to. I think you can, but
I would think it would. Yeah, I was going to say it should just matter on the. I mean, because every CNC runs with software. I think that's just kind of like the main norm, like what they're known to run with. Yeah. But I can't imagine that you would have to use one thing or another.
Right.
All right. Yeah, so I noticed we got a lot of questions, and we are at an hour and 16 minutes. So I just want to make sure we're being mindful.
Okay.
So we've got Hunter. He is a new fella in our group. I haven't seen him before.
Oh, Hunter.
He's got a good looking CNC machine if that's his.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
All right. Have you guys ever done cornhole boards? I am looking for tips to get them right. And what bits do you use to recommend them? I just bought an older shop-bought 4x8, a huge upgrade from the I can't say that.
Shapeoko.
Shapeoko.
Yeah.
So I personally have never made them. Have you?
Okay. No, not on the CNC, but it's pretty basic cutting.
Yeah, I was going to say it's just a circle.
You're cutting the circle, you're cutting the board out. If you're doing inlays on it, which I've seen some people do, then that requires some more stuff. But we'll get with the basics. You would want to use compression bits in those, right? You're cutting them out, and so you want to use a compression bit so you have cleaner edges all the way around. If you want rounded edges, then you also want to come in with a round over bit before you actually do the cutout. I should do a video on cornhole boards. It'd be pretty easy.
Yeah, I think it'd be fun.
So pretty basic. I would use a compression bit on it. You make it out of 3/4. I'm assuming 3/4 inch ply.
Yes, I would think so. Okay, so we're looking at that. By the way, I wanted to note Woody's wife. Her name is Rita.
Rita. All right.
Yes. We have a
Rita. Name. Sign up to Women Who CNC.
Yes.
That's Kate's Facebook group.
Yes, we'll help you get all your questions answered. She's asking.
She's also working on her logo, by the way.
Yes.
All right, go ahead. I'm sorry. Anyway, go ahead.
No, you're fine. So she made a comment. I'll have to go back and look. So I apologize, Rita. She says, I think I set mine to 1.25 today. Wasn't sure if I should have done that. I'll have to go back and look. Rita, I promise I will get back with you a little bit later tonight after I go back and read the comments.
Okay. In the meantime, Jeff was asking what's the difference between the hog and the beast. All right. So the beast is a lot more robust. Right. It's I mean, think of the hog and think of a beast. It's just so the beast is a stockier and shorter bit. So the hog is going to get down much deeper, but you can't be as aggressive with it like you can with the beast. Other than that, they're both considered roughing bits or chip breaker bits. They both intended to do the same thing, save you a lot of time. Just get that material out of there.
Yep. Let's see. Madra, which is Ellen, she said, I used every one of IDC bits that I have. LOL today. So she used every single one of her IDC Woodcraft bits today. I love how they cut. Oh my goodness, so smooth. Yes, I hear ya. They're addictive. I know.
Good to hear. That's what I designed them to do.
Good feedback. Good feedback. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Oh. Okay, so Ellen said again, I am working on my, she is at 8:37, I'm sorry. I am working on my first two-sided project. First attempts went pretty well. I watched so many videos. Thank you so much for your knowledge. Do you have a video about two-sided projects?
I have not. I have not.
Oh.
I've had people ask me about that. I've had people ask me about tiling. I probably will never do a video on tiling because I don't see a good use. I mean, there is use for it, but I don't know if there's enough demand. I'll do it. But
I've never done tiling either, but I mean, y'all can see, like, I have a big wall behind my machine, and if I move it forward, like, it's an 8-foot table, so it's not like moving like a little rolly cart or something. And that baby does not have wheels on it. And it's like got popsicle sticks underneath it to make sure it's like completely level. So if I pull that thing out, I'm going to be honest with you, I'm going to be like SOL, and it's going to be like all over the place. So don't come looking for me to do a tiling video. But you know who could? Sure. Sam Coleman over at Coleman Designs. He's fantastic on Instagram. He's always looking for feedback on how to do videos, and he actually has done tiling. So go look up Sam. He's fantastic. Tell him you want a video on tiling. He'll hook you up. All right. Let's see.
Chris said I should make a sign that has arrows on it. It says Facebook. Oh, YouTube down for comments.
You should put one like on that pegboard, like over your shoulder.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
there we go.
Always there.
All right. Maybe somebody needs to make him one and send him one. How's that?
There you go. Someone make me a Facebook up arrow and a YouTube down arrow. There it is.
There it is. Here we go. Okay, so Gary Wolf at 8:39. He says,
wow, we are way behind, aren't we?
Are we? I hope
yeah,
not.
8:39 is almost 9:22.
Oh, yeah, I guess we are. After you save, well, you know what? What I've noticed tonight is we've like had really consistent questions, and normally there's like a lot of chatter amongst the group.
Yeah.
So we've been answering a lot more questions too.
Yeah.
So after you save multiple toolpaths to multiple files, then you make changes to one file. It is hard to save using the normal long name in Vectric, replacing the file name, not making a new one. I think I know
Vectric likes, yeah, he's talking about the you create a name for the file and the Vectric plugs in the toolpath name behind it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like multiple toolpaths.
Yeah, after you save multiple toolpaths to multiple files, right? So what he means is you use multiple bits, so you have a toolpath file for your 1/4 inch, you have a toolpath file for your 1/8 inch, you have a toolpath file for your V-bit. Let's just say that's the tools you're using on your project.
Sure.
And then you make changes to one file. It is hard to save using the normal long name in Vectric. Replacing the file name, not making a new one. Yes. Yeah. I just delete the old files.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Especially if I know it's if the what I'm going to update from is not going to be saved. I just trash it. Right.
Yeah.
Otherwise I'll move the other ones over to another directory and just kind of start over.
Yeah. Yes, that's what I do too. Like I'll even have like my file folder like down on the bottom of my computer screen, and I'll pull that up. And if I know I'm going to go in and like I had to make changes and save it, I'll just literally go into that file and delete whatever I want out of there and then resave. So then that way everything is fresh and you don't have any confusion. Right. Makes life lots easier.
Okay. So first of all, I'll just say it again. If you are looking for one-on-one help with the Vectric, you're stuck in something or other, you can contact Kate and schedule with her. Again, Facebook, right? I did that arrow sign. In the comment, in the description, in the Facebook post, it has her link, her scheduling link. And YouTube down below, her scheduling link is down there too. So she's asking, what do you teach on your one-on-one?
I am so sorry, you guys. You're going to laugh at me when I say this. My husband is watering the flowers outside my window. But y'all, okay, I'm just gonna like be totally transparent here for a minute. So we have a family of skunks that literally live behind like where my CNC is. They're under like one of our like big mower decks. And I thought like my husband was doing something, or I thought like the skunk was gonna get sprayed because I have my headphones on, and so I can't like really tell what's going on. And my husband's spraying the window. I'm like, I'm gonna kill you for making me think that it's a stupid skunks like coming to attack me. Sorry. Like total raw moment here.
How do you
Okay.
solve the problem of having a family of skunks?
Yeah, there's like 5 of them. Like 5. Could you imagine like on the other side of this wall here? Like it's insulated,
Yeah.
but could you imagine if like 5 skunk bombs went off? I'd be like out of here so fast. Garrett would be like, where the hell did she go?
Right.
Oh my gosh.
I'd say,
Okay.
Kate, you're an entrepreneur. You got to stick it out, girl.
That'd have been
All right,
so
answer her
beautiful.
question.
Okay, Carolyn, I'm sorry for the sidebar. So I teach anything and everything on my Vectric trainings. Really depends on you. It depends on what you want. So what we do is I will email back and forth with you. My email is in the description, as Garrett's so plainly put, either on Facebook or on YouTube. You can email me directly or go to my website at riseandshinediywoodsigns.com and shoot me an email. Tell me what you want. We'll email back and forth. We'll get a good plan, and then we'll set up our one-on-one. I do them for an hour at a time. And there's also a link for my calendar below if you're interested in setting that up. But literally, I cover anything and everything that you could possibly want. So
Yeah.
let me
there
know
to
if you're
help
interested.
you get to a new level, or just get through a problem you're having that you're stuck on.
Yes. Yes. All right. Somebody said, is this live? Yes, it is.
This is live. We are live right now. So after in another maybe 10 minutes, then it'll be a recording. So right now, live, it is Eastern Time, 9:26 p.m. on the 21st of June.
You got it. Tomorrow's my mom's birthday.
Yeah, first day of summer. Okay. I do not have a video on G-Sender, solely about G-Sender. I was thinking about that today. I need to make one.
That's a long mill
build. But Long Mill should have a video on that, though. You know, Long Mill has made that software, and I think they got videos on it.
Oh, we've got a new friend, Andrew Harrison. Hi, guys from the UK. Fantastic.
Hello.
Welcome. It says we've got TJ on here. I think that's a great question at 8:45. I'm considering picking up a long mill 30 by 48 to start a side gig, but I'm worried the market is already really saturated with other makers. CNC produced stuff is so prevalent these days.
Oh boy, he needs to go back through the mentoring session, doesn't he?
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to be really honest with you, TJ. This is exactly why. Excuse me, my goodness, I have frog in my throat. This is exactly why I got into CNC, because I was a sign maker. I made those big, huge wooden signs that like every woman decorated their house with for a really long time and are still decorating their houses with. But what I did notice when I went into Hobby Lobby the other day, the signs are becoming carved. So I do agree. There is a lot of work for CNC, but don't look at it as competition. You are unique and you have your own qualities that you bring to the table. So find something that you're passionate about, find something for your niche and your market, and you will be successful. You just have to work at it and you have to want it.
Yeah, the big thing to not do that everybody does is, like Kate said in the beginning here, which we had to work her out of, is if you're trying to make stuff for everybody, you're going after one. I want to make this, and you don't make a sale in 3 days. Oh, that doesn't work. I'm going to go over here, and then that doesn't work. I'm going to go here, and your mind is going all over the place because you have no focus. If you're confused, your potential customers are going to be confused, and they won't buy from you, right? Yeah. So that's why. But making stuff in the beginning, you clearly don't have a machine yet. So it doesn't matter. You want to make a bunch of stuff. to build up your side gig, right?
Yeah.
Just make stuff to get the experience. But what you do is take whatever you make and post it on Facebook if you have a Facebook account, or tell friends and family and people you work with, whatever. But you got to get it out there. Let them see what you're doing. I promise you, guarantee you 100% bona fide, somebody will come. Can you do this for me? It'll come up. It'll happen.
Yep. You just have to find what you're really good at and what you're really passionate about. So, and if you, I mean, all seriousness, go back, watch the mentoring sessions. There's a whole video. They're actually under a live tab on Garrett's YouTube channel. They're live, and you go down, and then there's the whole section of my mentoring videos. Because I went through the exact same thing you're going through. I mean, the exact same thing. For like the first year I had my CNC, I was making anything and everything because I wanted that experience of how do I operate this thing? What do I do? You have to learn. That's a part of the process, and you just have to give yourself that grace to be able to learn, because if you don't, it's a really long road.
Yeah, and you got to be open to one other thing, right? Is you've got to be open to not trying to figure it out yourself, right? If you've never had a business before, you don't understand business marketing. It's a skill that you have to learn, and it's a mindset shift, right? We don't always understand what mindset means, right? But mindset means how you see the world, your filters, what you understand, and you don't understand we don't really understand what mindset is until we actually shift our mindset and say, oh, that's how I used to see the world. Now I'm seeing it this way, right? Business mindset's a little different, and it takes a little bit of time. Right? It takes a little bit of time to adjust. But I want to say, don't be afraid to go after, right? If you want something different and you want it bad enough, you will make it happen.
Amen.
But you have to work on shifting the identity over time, right? And it takes time. Kate now understands why mentoring happens and why it takes a little time, right? Because we got to unlock the mind from what it's locked into so we can start doing some other things.
Absolutely. Yes. Okay, let's see. So I think your buddy and Jack in the shop are chatting. Steve, thanks for the subscription. Yes, or the subscribe. Appreciate that.
Yes, subscribe to Kate's channel, Rise and Shine Wood Signs. How many? She probably has 3 more to go, so she can hit her 700 mark. Right? Give her that win.
Okay, let's see. Joshua Johnson says, I doesn't have my Facebook link in there. Most everything else, I think I'm already following, but others might need it. Yes, my Facebook link, it should be in there. Hopefully that is for the Women Who CNC group. It is for my women only on Facebook. So we'll double check that, but thank you for letting us know. Okay, I've got Nav Boys. Hello guys, could you give a quick review of surfacing my spoil board? I just built a table for my 30 by 30 long mill. I'm using VCarve Pro. Thanks.
Okay. It's actually, we are out of time to dive into that. But I've got a couple videos on YouTube about surfacing. And I think it would have been a year and a half old, maybe, but it walks you kind of through the surfacing process. You got the long mill in G Center also has a surfacing program. So
there you go.
Be on here next week and we'll tell you, but try to find the surfacing on the channel and watch that.
Oh, so I have a really good, I'm just doing a quick scroll for the rest of the questions really quickly. Roger S says, can we buy 2 of the beast or just 1 for now? So what do you have?
Yes, you'll be able to buy 2. You can buy as many as you want, but I've got it set up so you can buy 1 or you can buy a pair, right? You buy a pair, of course, there's like $5 less for the set. Okay. But you can buy as many as you want.
Okay, Jen, I see you have a comment, girl. Hit me up in the Women Who CNC group, and I will answer that. Oh, Brian said, for your carve, do you sit and watch it for 60 hours?
Duh.
I
Of
know.
course
It's
we
like,
do.
oh my gosh. So Ellen, we'll talk about 3D carves in the group. The 3D tabs are easy to cut with a chisel. Yes, yes, they are. So somebody said I had 701. Yay. Thank you.
All right.
Yes, I get to celebrate right here with you
Yay.
guys.
Here we go. I'll do
Yes.
the happy dance. There's my celebration happy dance.
Oh my gosh, you're a mess. Thank you for that.
We're
Thank you so
breezing. We're
much.
breezing through. Yep, you're welcome. We're breezing through the
Breezing.
questions now. Try to get to the bottom. We're at
Yes.
9:35. So
All right, we're going to breeze really quickly. I see Steve Nicholson at 9:21. He said, "Just wanted to say thank you both for what you do. There's not a lot of support out here, and you guys are non-judgmental, and your whole goal is to help your CNC brother and sisters. Thank you so much."
You got it, brother. You are welcome.
You are welcome. I'm so glad we can help because we both know what it's like to be out there in limbo. We've been there,
Yep.
so we know exactly what it's like.
Okay, Brian Rosenbaum said that he posted a few projects on his, I guess, on his Facebook, and he had 6 orders.
Wow, great job!
This week, right? So the moral of the story is you just got to get them out there. Got to get your projects out there. Doesn't matter if you feel like it's crappy. Doesn't matter. You got to let people see them. Get beyond yourself. We are nitpickers at our own work. It's like the cook is his own worst enemy, right? Our own worst critic. We got to get out of it. Just make shit for people. I've always remembered. Always look at it like this: when we get something from somebody else, we're not looking at the defects. We're looking at the meaning behind it, and we're seeing the whole thing, right? So we have to get out of that. Oh, those little chip out of that thing, you know.
Yeah. My sister is my biggest cheerleader. When she comes to visit, she'll say, "What's all this?" I'll say, "Oh, that's the burn pile," or that's whatever. And she's like, "What's the matter with this?" And I'm like, "Oh, this. And she's like, "Oh, I'm taking this home." Like, it was so funny. My brother-in-law came out and did the same thing. I had a sign that I made for somebody, and I was like, "Nah, I don't like it. It's off center a little bit." And he was like, "I'm taking it home. I'm just gonna flip it over. Nobody will know."
Right.
You know, I mean, people don't see what we see, folks. They just don't. So make your stuff, put it out there.
You know, I get stuff in the mail that people have made, right? That's their way of saying thank you.
Yeah.
And sometimes they're not. It's easy to tell if they know what they're doing or not, right? But it doesn't matter. It's a whole thought behind it that matters.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
It's so incredible.
So Jim Tillman, you've asked a couple questions, and we can't dive into that at this point. You're asking deeper dive questions here. He imported a picture, and he's got bunches of intersections, so he did a bitmap trace probably. Right, yeah. So we can cover
Jim,
that
hit me up. I would be more than happy to do a one-on-one with you. I have a lot of expertise in this particular area, so I'd be more than happy to help you with that.
Links above him if you're on Facebook.
Yeah.
Jim is on YouTube, so it's down the description down there.
Plus, Jim, if you're going to be doing a lot more of that type of work, a one-on-one would be really valuable.
Kate, you're at 709.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Rita said you're at 709 now, right? Woody's wife?
Wow. Fantastic. Oh my gosh, that's so exciting.
This is the world of CNC. Everybody's helping out.
I know. I love it.
Now the next goal is to get you to 1,000. All right. So when you
I've got to get there by the end of the year.
Oh, come on. Let's tighten that goal up. That's like 7 months away, Kate.
I know. I need by the end of summer. How's that? End of August.
Okay.
I think we could do it.
Yep.
I think we can do it.
All right.
Yeah.
710. You got people watching your channel.
I love it. That's awesome. Yeah. Thank you. Plus, if you hit that little bell or whatever on my channel, you will also get notified when I release that beast video here in a few days or a couple days, and get that taken care of. So you guys will get to see my real life view of what actually happened with the beast and how much power this thing has, and it was overpowering my Makita router. So you'll get to see that.
Rita said she doesn't even know who Woody is.
Gosh, I love it. That's hilarious.
All right, CNC brothers and sisters, we got to rock on out of here.
Yes.
She's got skunks to keep away from, and I don't know what I'm going to do after I get off of here.
I'm going to go hang out with my mom. Tomorrow I've got a big day. My daughter is in a big cheer competition down at IU. We're leaving here tomorrow at 8 a.m. I'm driving down to Bloomington. My mom's birthday, so we're going to spend the day together, hanging out. It's going to be a good day. Good day.
It will be.
Be a good day for a good day.
Yeah. Tomorrow I'm interviewing 2 people.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm looking for in-house help, general help. I'm looking for a videographer.
Well, maybe. Hey, you said you wanted a video editor too.
Yeah, editor.
Maybe.
Yeah. I need someone who's good at QuickBooks.
Oh, yeah. I hate QuickBooks.
All right. Well, let's rock this out.
So many things, y'all.
CNC,
so many things.
Yeah. CNC brothers and sisters, we will catch you in next time. Hasta la vista.